Can a woman conceived through IVF use her biological mom's eggs and dad's sperm for her own IVF? Is it even legal? I don't see what the woman herself being conceived through IVF has anything to do with it. But yes, it's biologically possible. And it's probably esoteric enough that there's nothing legally forbidding it. And yes, the child will be genetically her sibling. Is this for an ethics philosophy course or something? Either you misunderstood the assignment or your professor is hitting the bottle before coming to class. You're so focused on if you can, you never stop to ask yourself if you should. Imagine giving birth to your sibling. You'd have ultra upgraded older sibling privilege lol. How do you even conceptualize this? Is it possible? Yeah. Is it legal? Probably. I think if it's truly an IVF situation and nothing weird going on, I don't see why it wouldn't be. Is it ethical? Depends on this situation, but there have been moms that carry babies for their daughters, so I'd why this would be any different. What you are describing is a woman carrying her parents' embryo, except instead of being the surrogate, she's doing full-on embryo adoption. There have been several cases of that happening in reverse, where an older woman carries her daughter's embryo, acting as a surrogate. Sisters do it for each other even more frequently. People also receive egg or sperm donations from their partner's relatives all the time. I dated someone while she was doing the process to donate eggs to a relative which were fertilized in vitro and implanted into that relative. My immediate thought was gross. After thinking for a little bit, that first thought wasn't fair. If the parents had leftover fertilized eggs from her IVF, then it seems entirely reasonable for the woman to want to carry her sibling to term. And yet, she'd be the mother, but the child would be her genetic sibling. I have seen moms either being a surrogate for their daughters or donating eggs for IVF to their daughters, so I would think that yes, it's probably both possible and legal, but maybe a little morally wonky. Besides being weird AF, if you could make it work, I don't think it's illegal or carries any additional chance of birth defects. I can't really see a reason why the parents or children would choose to do this, though. Could it be done? Yeah, technically, assuming mom and dad are fertile enough. Not sure why they would have used IVF in the first place if they are. Is it legal? Yeah, probably. Don't think it's really something lawmakers are worried about. Not because you can, doesn't mean you should. I saw some woman on TikTok who was conceived through IVF, and she actually talked about being interested in doing this as she herself was planning to start the IVF process. Everyone in the comments pointed out how weird it would be for her to be pregnant with her dad's child, which made her realize it might not be such a good idea after all. Elmo. But her idea was actually quite sweet. She talked about her siblings just being frozen forever and how cool it would be to get to raise them. Technically possible, legally it varies from country to country. However, as we age, our eggs decline in quality and suitability. A lot of older mothers use donor eggs to conceive rather than the other way around. I'm saying this as from a legal point of view, both parties would have to be consenting adults, meaning the mother would most likely be 40, so another reason this scenario is unlikely. Sperm quality also decreases as we age. Furthermore, many clinics have age limits on donors and it's strict. This is not a good or interesting storyline for your story. That's just corrupting the gene pool. What the fuck? There's some things in science you shouldn't do. Surgical incest is not the way. Haha. That's not IVF, that's surrogacy. Well, good luck explaining why your family tree looks more like a wreath. I mean, this is morally a bit off. This is sick.